Mombasas. Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. The president's personal assistant has become his chief campaigner. And 3 months ago, he was dispatched in Western Kenya with carrying a bag of money, attending funerals, church fundraisers, and also planning some social events to try to convince the Western Kenya to vote back President William Ruto. And in this podcast, I'm going to explain for you in details what was started as a move to take back Mulembe Nation to the president has backfired, and leaders are actually decamping from the UDA. Farouk Kibet mission in Western Kenya flopped. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. Thank you very much for supporting this podcast. We do this each and every day because of your support. I also want to take this opportunity to thank you immensely deep from my heart for supporting the project we were doing in Bere last week. The project is not yet complete. I've left one of my team members here, David, who is presiding it over there, just to make sure that they complete it on Friday. So we'll be back on Saturday to give the mattresses and the other requirements that were given and just finish the last phase of that project. I just realized that we had not done something for the children, school fees and all others. But I just want to say thank you very much for supporting that project, and we will hand over this weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, Bonny Khalwale is saying that he's been kicked out of UDA party, and even despite the fact that he's a member of the UDA executive committee, he's not, the president and his team normally don't invite him on the UDA meetings. Outrightly, this statement comes days after he actually said he attacked Farouk Kibet, that the money Farouk Kibet is moving around Western Kenya donating is just an act of panic because he's realizing that the people have left the party. And according to Bonny Khalwale, UDA party do not have a chance there.
But nobody cares. Even when they hold meetings, I'm a member of the National Executive Council of UDA. But when they call those meetings, they don't even bother to call me. I have refused to accept that Luyas don't count. I am saying in 2027, Vana Baba Luya, this time will be counted and they will be known. As far as Mulembe is concerned, as far as Wetangula is concerned, you are only as good as you help them to take people to the polling stations so that they get those positions. When they get whatever benefits they get in return, which I don't know, Wetangula, mani ne helicopter, mahira Bungoma, mutabati, mayiha nende helicopter ibihika, mahira vindu vienebo, yueneyo, papara kukakameka ibereho. I am going to make sure in 2027 Kakamega gets a position at the national table of brotherhood. I'm going to make sure in 2027 whoever thinks that Luyas are not there. Now, ile masomo yenye Michael kijana wa Malu alinipatia, akaniambia ukiwa katika siasa heshimu wale waliokutangulia. Nimeheshimu Mudavadi, nimeheshimu Wetangula, but because they have let us down, I have decided let them go there, but they will also find me there. Yeah.
I've been telling you that Bonny is his way out of the party. Bonny Khalwale was, after now Malala decamped and joined the Rigathi Gachagwa's DCP party and was actually made the deputy party leader, UDA party now lacks a strong leader, in fact, in Kakamega County. The one who was remaining strongest UDA leader there was actually Bonny Khalwale, the senator. The women rep Elsie Muhanda was actually elected on ODM, and the governor also elected on ODM. Those two leaders are going to fight incumbency. And the ODM party that was also being supported by Oparanya, who is also not now in the picture. And with this, it is a very clear point that something is not going to work. Part of this attempt, and Khalwale is moved out. The second strategy was there that some money was also given to Salasia. And Salasia moved around the country, parading what is actually a very, a presidential bid that is not a non-existing presidential bid, just to try to elevate his profile in Western Kenya, so that probably if he is going to vie as a presidential candidate, then he can cut a niche for the young people. And I think that was to make sure, because they realized that Salasia was in DAPK, and DAPK was emerging as a very strong party in Kakamega, in the western side. So pulling out Salasia was part of the strategy to kill DAPK. And things are not working well. And the next stop was Bungoma. In Bungoma, Didmas Baraza had initially decamped from UDA to Fort Kenya to vie for governor. Now, Tim Wanyonyi has moved down there seeking the governorship. And UDA MPs were mobilized from Bungoma, were mobilized to throw their weight behind Tim Wanyonyi. Of course, this seemed not to have worked well for Didmas Baraza, who recently also shared a photo with Ndindi Nyoro in a move trying to portray that he could also be making his way out of the UDA. But of course, one politician that I don't appreciate is Didmas Baraza. I think if you look at his language, his demeanor, his political demeanor is not very positive for people who follow the politics of this country. The political demeanor of Didmas Baraza is not very positive, and it's not a welcome demeanor, especially in our political space. So in Bungoma, he's also storming out, and recently during an event that was attended by Sifuna and a host of Luya MPs, including Caleb Amisi, I picked two speeches, one from Sifuna here.
Mimi nimesikia wengine wanatuambia ati kama uko na mashindano na wao uangojee tufike 2027. Lakini yule anatuambia hivyo, yeye hatupi nafasi sisi kufika 2027. Anakaa akipiga vijana wetu risasi kila siku. Ule kijana ambaye alichukuliwa Homa Bay, anaitwa Albert, akauawa na polisi. Yeye atakutana na wewe 2027 wapi na umemweka kwa mchanga? Sasa nataka tusikizane kitu moja. Nataka nimwambie William Ruto, kama sisi hatufiki 2027, hata wewe ufiki. Tusipofika, haufiki. Nataka mseme asikie. Tusipofika, haufiki. Kwa sababu inawezekanaje wewe unatuambia tukungojee huko na unatupiga risasi? Juzi rais mzima anasimama anaambia polisi ati ukiona mtu anaandamana wewe piga yeye risasi ya mguu. Mimi kama kiongozi pale Nairobi nimeenda Kenyatta wakati baada ya maandamano kuona watu ambao wamepigwa risasi kwa mguu. It is not something you want to wish on anybody. It is not something you want to wish even on your worst enemy. How can a national leader asimame aambie polisi wafanye kitu kama hiyo? Na hawa ni polisi ambao wanapiga hata watoto wadogo bunduki wakiwa ndani ya nyumba. Sasa unaambia mtu anapiga watu risasi ndani ya nyumba, ataona mguu wapi? Si atapiga tu vile anapigaga. Sasa tunataka kukemea rais, tukuambie boss, masaa yako imekwisha kwa sababu wewe umeshindwa kudhibiti taifa la Kenya, kazi yako ni kutuua. Namba 2, wale waendani wake wa karibu wanazidisha kutonesha kidonda, wanasema mambo ambayo haistahili viongozi kusema. Unaona mbunge kama Nelson Koech anasimama anasema wewe piga risasi vile itakuwa ikue. Na mimi najiuliza, kuna mashirika hii Kenya kama NCIC, kazi yao ni kuita viongozi kama Sifuna kutuhara suku ati tumesema mambo mbaya. Sijaona wakiita watu wa UDA na marafiki wa Ruto waende wakajibu mambo ambayo yanasemwa pale. Kitu kingine, wewe unatuambia tungoje 2027 na marafiki zako wanatuambia mnapanga kuiba 2027. Saa hii tuko na IEBC. Mimi kama wakili najua sheria iruhusu mtu kuhujumu matokeo ya uchaguzi kama mtu ametangaza wazi kwamba anataka kuiba kura. Hawa jamaa Ethekon na ndugu zake wengine wameingia IEBC juzi. Waite hawa wabunge ambao wanasema wataiba kura kwa ajili ya William Ruto waweze kujibu haya maneno, kwa sababu sisi tunangojea ile siku ambayo tutapewa kura. Haki ya Mungu by saa 2 Ruto atakuwa ameenda nyumbani.
Who was telling off the president on a number of issues, including the issue of shoot, as to whether it will kill or not, but there was an issue of shooting. And then there was Majimbo Kalasinga, the Kabuchai member of parliament, who was actually the host. I remember this event was on Sunday. Who was the host of this empowerment program. Majimbo Kalasinga, the Kabuchai member of parliament, was also telling off Wetangula that even having served as the speaker, he cannot come back with another bag of promises. So to that point, you'll understand something. That when you listen to Khalwale is pushing Wetangula and Mudavadi at the periphery. When you come to Bungoma, where William Ruto gathered more votes, Wetangula is being pushed in the periphery. And this is already telling that things are not looking easy, or rather things will not look easy for Wetangula and his side. Same on the other side of Mudavadi. Now, the Bungoma gubernatorial race that will bring Didymus Baraza and Tim Wanyonyi is going to be a very interesting one, because it has also splitted Bungoma, which is the vote basket that President Ruto depended on. Baraza believes that it is the president's money that has been poured on Bungoma against him. And how that is going to play would be very interesting. Farouk Kibet made the next stop last week in Cherangany, Trans Nzoia County, and he went for one man, George Natembeya, saying, and of course, because George Natembeya has been moving with the with the Tawi movement, was actually attacking Natembeya as once against the forces. So when you look around, the money that has been given, and I think I saw a speech by a response by Natembeya, telling him about his political moves there.
Hii kaunti yetu iko cosmopolitan. Ni kaunti ya jamii zote. Trans Nzoia ni Kenya ndogo. It's a small Kenya. Sisi hatuna nafasi katika roho zetu kama wakazi wa Trans Nzoia kuwa na mambo ya chuki na ukabila na kubaguana. Hakuna mahali jambo kama hilo linakupeleka. Wala ambao wanaelewa vitu ni watu ambao wanaweza kumshukuru Mungu kwamba out of all the counties in Kenya, 47 of them, wajana zile kubwa kama Nairobi is the capital city na zile zingine, Mungu akaamua kwamba Trans Nzoia itakuwa cosmopolitan county. Lakini hakuna county ambayo iko unique kama Trans Nzoia, ambayo jamii zote tuko hapa. Na si ati mtu mmoja ama watu wawili ama watu watatu. Kila jamii iko na watu wengi. Sisi wote tuko hapa. It's a melting pot. Kwa hivyo wala ambao wanakaa kwa roho, unakaa tu kwa sababu yeye mtu akiwa mkabila nafikiri watu wengine wote ni wakabila. Unakaa unafikiri mambo ya ukabila. You are wasting your time. Unapoteza muda wako badala ya kufanya mambo ya muhimu, una waste muda wako kwa mambo ambayo hayafai. So wale watu wote ambao katika hii county yetu, tukae tukijua kwamba wewe kutoka hapa itakuwa ni yari yako tu, lakini wakati mtu atakwambia utoke Trans Nzoia, hapa ni nyumbani. Kama unakuko shule, kama unafanya biashara, kama uko na shamba, ama umekuja tu, hakuna mtu ambaye atakuuliza kwamba unafanya nini Trans Nzoia. Tukae hapa tukijua hapa ni nyumbani. Na mambo ya kuangalia mambo yanafanyika West Pokot nakaa namna gani, Elgeyo Marakwet, Mara Uasin Gishu, Bungoma inakaa namna gani kule Busia, hizo vitu tuwache. Tujue kwamba akili zetu tuweke hapa. Kuna watu wengi akitoka hapa akienda kule Eldoret anasema anaenda nyumbani. Ama akienda Bungoma ataenda nyumbani. Na hapa unahitaji hapa. Hapa ni mahali ya kupitia tu. Hata unapata watu wengine kuinvest, kuweka mali hapa Trans Nzoia. Hawezi kuweka. Hii Trans Nzoia imetajirisha watu. Imejenga ile Eldoret, imejenga Nakuru, imejenga Kisumu. Watu ni kuingiza mirija, wanatoa mali wanapeleka mahali pengine. Mtu hapo na shamba hapa anangojea bei ikuwe mzuri auze. Weka mali hapa. Tujenge kaunti yetu. It's a beautiful place. Wala ambao wametembea Kenya hii yote, ukiambia ile compare na mandhari pekee yake ambayo hapa Trans Nzoia, you can't compare with anywhere else. So watu wetu, tuache hii mambo mingi ambayo haisaidii. Sisi wote Mungu na Mwenyezi Mungu, sisi wote ni binadamu, tupendane tu. Mimi najua wakati mwingine wanasiasa anataka kupitia kwa kabila aseme huyu mtu ni mbaya, huyu nini ati ndiye apate kura. Utapata kura kwa kutokana na tembea hapa, you will not. Maana utasema mambo yangu yote unasema natembea anafanya hivi, mimi nikikuja nafanya tu mazuri tu because I believe in doing good.
So when you look at the Farouk Kibet mission that President commissioned in Western Kenya, it has not achieved much and it's likely to even backfire more. I think it is not coming up as what was intended to be. More defections are even being done, and people are actually choosing to walk out and not go to ODM, not even UDA, and are choosing the opposition path. Now, this is what is destroying it. This is what is destroying Mulembe Nation. Why Mulembe Nation is going to be very tricky, is a very tricky part for the president and his team if he wants to get that vote. The money aspect in campaign brought insecurities. The people that were given money by Farouk Kibet to donate in those events and church fundraisers, they were supposed to be perceived as the president's mouthpiece. They're supposed to speak about the president. They're supposed to articulate the policies of the government. But that also comes with some people, some other person will feel like, you know, so-and-so has been given, it's moving the president's PA, this and this, and so this person is mine. So it has created more divisions, contrary to what it was supposed to bring. Now, the tokenism in politics, I've always said, you cannot bribe everyone. You cannot reach everyone. If you just want to say, me, I want to give people money, you cannot satisfy people's needs. You cannot reach everyone, and it is also not very sustainable. At this day and age, when people question in terms of policies and projects and development, something is not simply working. But the other second aspect why this thing is not coming out is this. Farouk Kibet went to Western Kenya, and he intentionally, is it error of omission, left out the UDA grassroots, because that grassroots had collapsed. Immediately after election, people got power. The leaders that were supposed to be there to bring in, to hold the UDA firm in the ground were actually abandoned. So they will only get time to defend the president when the president is there. But leaving out the UDA was trying to create, sometimes people don't want to work with incumbents because incumbents are unpopular, because incumbents have a lot of baggage, but they left out the UDA issue. Then the third aspect causing this problem is William Ruto perceiving to use Raila to get the Luhya vote. Hey? And you see the rallying call by Khalwale is, we want to get to that table. When you listen to the language of Khalwale, that is the same language that Natembeya was talking, that we want Luhya nation not to go through someone to be in the decision-making table. Now, that is a very heavy statement, and you cannot just ignore what's happening. And I think with also the issues of Wetangula and Mudavadi, they have not been able to show up for their earthquake move. The bill of supporting William Ruto, apart from the cabinet portfolios, not so much can attribute it to their presence. Remember, in the political arena, they were supposed to present some 30% in terms of development, in terms of some appointment, but with the dynamics of politics and arrival of Raila in the party, so many things were whitewashed under the carpet. And not that has happened. So you can move around, but I think Mulembe Nation is going to be very difficult for the president in 2027. Thank you.